There is a version of you that the world sees. And then there is the version you bury, the parts you silence, the anger you swallow, the urges you label as wrong, the darkness you pretend doesn't exist. But the truth is simple and terrifying. What you hide controls you, not from the outside, but from within. This is the psychology of the shadow, the hidden you. And today, we're going to uncover how everything you suppress is quietly shaping your relationships, your decisions, and your destiny. We all wear a mask. It's not deception, it's survival. From a young age, you learned what behaviors were rewarded, what traits earned love, and what parts of you had to be hidden to belong. This mask has a name, the persona, a filtered version of yourself tailored for social survival. The persona is the smile when you're angry, the silence when you want to scream, the politeness that covers rage, the I'm fine when you're breaking. But here's the trap. You begin to mistake the mask for who you really are. And the more you identify with the persona, the more you disconnect from your true self. Jung warned that when the mask becomes too rigid, you become hollow. You start to feel empty, not because life lacks meaning, but because you have exiled the parts of yourself that give you power, authenticity, and depth. Behind every persona lives a prisoner, the shadow. Your shadow is everything you've rejected, the anger you weren't allowed to show, the jealousy you were ashamed of, the ambition you were told was selfish, the sexuality you were taught to fear. But the shadow does not disappear. It waits, and in time, it leaks out. In passive aggression, self-sabotage, addiction, projection, anxiety, and unexplained emotional outbursts. You don't control the shadow, it controls you. The shadow doesn't speak in words. It speaks in impulse, in obsession, in overreaction. That moment when you explode at something small, that's not just stress. That's the shadow breaking through the surface. Jung believed integration is not about becoming good. It's about becoming whole, owning both your light and your darkness. What annoys you in others may actually live inside you. This is the law of projection. You don't just see others as they are, you see them as you are. When you haven't owned your inner aggression, you'll see others as hostile. When you haven't integrated your pride, you'll find arrogant people everywhere. When you deny your own desires, you'll shame others for theirs. Projection is your mind's way of avoiding responsibility for your inner world. Instead of confronting the shadow, you exile it outward. That's why some people trigger you, not because of what they do, but because they mirror a piece of you that you've disowned. To confront projection is to take back your power. You stop blaming, you start integrating. And for the first time, you begin to see clearly. So, how do you reclaim the parts of you that you've banished? This is the process Jung called individuation, the journey of becoming your full, authentic self. Not the self shaped by culture, not the self shaped by trauma, but the self that emerges from within, when the shadow is no longer feared. Integration doesn't mean becoming dark or reckless. It means becoming honest. When you face your envy, it stops controlling your choices. When you face your rage, it stops erupting in silence. When you face your need for control, you stop pretending to be selfless. The integrated man is not perfect, he is real. People feel it in your presence. There's a weight to someone who has faced themselves. They don't need validation. They don't chase approval. They don't react. They respond. Because they've wrestled with their shadow and they've made peace with it. You were never meant to be pure. You were meant to be complete. Your darkness is not your enemy. It is your teacher. The rage you hide might be the key to your boundaries. The envy you suppress might be the call to your ambition. The fear you deny might be the path to your transformation. This is the paradox of growth. What you run from holds the lesson you need most. The goal is not to eliminate your shadow, but to bring it to light. To become the kind of person who walks with his darkness and does not flinch. You've been running from pieces of yourself for too long, but now you understand. It's not the world that's holding you back. It's not fate. It's not others. It's you, the you in hiding. The moment you stop hiding is the moment you start living. So ask yourself, what part of you have you buried? And are you ready to meet it? Because the truth is this: you cannot become powerful until you become whole.